So I forgot. I had one more thing I wanted to show you. This is a picture they had actually in the paper itself of what the black hole looked like. And then they did a really neat thing. They said, here's what it would have looked like if we didn't use if we just omitted all the data from the telescope in Chile. And here's what it would have looked like if we would have omitted all the data from the telescope in Hawaii. SMT, I think that's the telescope in the South Pole, but I'm not sure. But they had 5 telescopes, and they showed pictures if we didn't use that data from the telescope. So let's just look across the top line, because there's 3 images, and I don't understand exactly why they're different. But let's just look at the top line. So here's what the picture looked like with all the data, without Chile, let's pretend that's the South Pole, and without these other ones. So first of all, tell me why you think these pictures are different when they omit some of the data.
Well, I guess each telescope inputs a different amount of data because they're on different spots around the Earth, and other telescopes could miss. And then I guess the Chile one and this data had some. This telescope had some important data because I get the image is just completely different without that telescope.
Okay.
See also without the other telescope, it also just looks like a blur.
Yeah. All right, so that's interesting. So when you look at this top line, you think, oh, the data from Chile must have been really important, and the data from this one must have been really important. Why do you think they did this? Why do you think they checked what the image looked like when certain data was omitted?
Well, maybe just to check if the data was consistent. And if the images mostly appeared to match the image that they found. And looks like omitting these 3, it looks pretty similar. You still got the ring around and the hole in the center.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. These telescopes must have had some different data. So if you omitted them, then the image got really distorted and off.
Okay, yeah. So this is an important technique in statistics, just of looking at what happens when certain data is missing, to see how much your original image depends on it. And I thought this was a really neat picture in the paper because it showed how much work they did in checking this image. Because remember from the Katie Bauman talk that they're never 100% sure what the image is going to look like. So they really did a lot of careful checking to make sure that the image didn't change so much when data was omitted. But what do you see here? Did it change when some data was omitted?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
2 telescopes, yeah.
Yeah, so that tells you it's really dependent on some of the data. So they need to, obviously they're going to keep looking. And how do you think you can make it better?
More telescopes, just probably have more data.
More telescopes. Or just one telescope that was the size of the Earth.
That too.
That too. All right. Good job, man.